morning, everybody. I toast to you and all you do. I hope you're having a fantastic morning today on this chilly Monday morning. And I hope you had a great weekend. So, to dive deep into our introspective journey, today I would like to talk about things that have impacted your soul. This is a deep one, I guess. It's funny because it's kind of hard to talk about. I just don't know what words to put here, and I've actually tried to make this video several times. Hopefully this one goes through and I can get through to the end and feel like I'm sharing valuable knowledge. Soul searching is like I said, it's a really deep topic. It's one of those things that you don't do lightly. You don't hey, I have 5 minutes, I'm going to sit down and do this. But this is something that you really take that time and you meditate, and you have to be calm and grounded and centered and all those things we talked about the other day, and just meditate and let your soul talk to you, I guess. These can be kind of overwhelming because in order for something to imprint your soul, it has to be like a major event. The death of a loved one, the birth of a child, an amazing event that kind of changed your life and that impacted you in such a way that you carry that with you forever. One of my favorite authors, DJ Conway, in her book Ash Oak Thorn, has a great chapter on soul healing and doing some deep work in healing your soul, healing a fractured soul. You might see when you're looking up different soul healing things is how to heal a fractured soul. And so the thing is that your soul is that energy that carries with you through each life. Your soul is what is that seed of energy that you carry with you, that is you. And this is, like I said, something that you carry with you through each life, from this to the next. You've had it before, this is an internal energy. To me, this comes back to that law of energy, energy cannot be created or destroyed, only transformed into something new. So that's what happens with your soul. When you die, that energy from your soul transforms, transcends, moves on to something next, and oftentimes that something next is another life, is another experience, is another opportunity to experience more things, and you carry those experiences with you from the last life. And it's the important experiences. Like I said, the birth of a child, major life events. I have a very vivid memory from a past life of being in battle, and watching a dear friend receive the last blow. It's very overwhelming, but it helps you to know who you are. It helps you to know who you came from. That experience was a very important experience to a life I had many, many lives ago. Strongly influenced the person that I was then. And I think that it also carries over loyalty. I'm a very loyal person. I will stand with you as long as there's good integrity and honesty and all of those things. And that experience there is one of those things that is carried over. The loyalty that I had to that person is something that I carry with me always. And so it's helped me to better understand who I am and where that loyalty comes from and why it's so deep for me. But they're not all going to be, it doesn't have to be past life. Start with this life. Start by thinking about experiences that you've had that have seriously changed who you are, and that you carry with you always, that are just deep. And like I said, sometimes these are going to be traumatic. In DJ Conway book, she says, this is fracturing. Your soul has been fractured by an event, and your job is to put those pieces back together and make your soul whole again. I don't necessarily think it's to that extreme. I do think that there are some events that are, cause a crack, cause a rift, a fracture, a small little, and when we go back and we look at those things and we see how they have impacted us and how they influence us and what we've learned from them, and that experience that our soul had and that we had, and that is kind of like a building block, like a foundational piece. It's a foundational experience that you had that has affected you. So when you start going through these and you start writing them down and you're like, oh, okay, so I have the loyalty thing. One from this life would be, um, hmm, it's hard. It's hard to just come up with something off the top of your head because they're not simple. And when you're like, that first, oh, that's it. No, that's not it. So take your time. Take your time to think about it. Take your time to be with those thoughts. Do some deep meditation. Do some serious journaling. And actually, a great way to do this would be free writing. So get into a meditative state. Calm your brain, calm your mind, calm yourself. Have your pen and paper ready. And then once you're clear of mind and clear of thought and ready and centered and grounded and all of those great things, pick up that pen and just start writing. Whatever it is that comes to your head. If the first thing that comes to your head is, I have to do the dishes, write that down. And then the next thing, and then the next thing, and then just keep writing until your brain isn't really in charge anymore. I don't know how to say that, but you just let it go. Just let it go. And start writing and let that come to you. And a lot of times these things will just come out because they're there. And we've just kind of, let's not think about that. Or maybe you think about it every day and you're like, this horrible event happened to me and I can't let it go. Write it down. Write it down. Think about it. Think about that experience and how it's helped you be who you are. And I know that there are these horrible experiences. We've all had super horrible experiences. And it's hard to revisit them. It's hard to think that you've learned anything from them. It's hard to move forward and be a stronger person when you're constantly thinking about this weakness, this problem, this bad thing, this whatever. And I look to other people who I feel like have had it way worse than me, and I look to them for inspiration. And you see all of these people who have taken their horrible events, they've been raped or molested or beaten or suffered the hands of horrible, genocide, horrible things. And you see them rise above that and step forward and do something better for their community and stand up and be a voice or help somebody else who needs that help or whatever it is. And I look to them and I'm like, wow, like that person, their whole family died because of genocide. They watched their dad die, and yet here they are standing up and doing the right thing and standing up for what's right. And to me, that's where I find my examples of strength and hey, if they can overcome this really bad thing that I can't even begin to really imagine, in my head, I'm like, I can't imagine what that's like. So my little thing, coming from a drug addict parent or having just issues, being abused or whatever it may be, I'm like, you know what, it's not really that big of a deal. I can rise up, I can do the right thing, I can help other people. And just be there to help somebody, to do the better thing next time, to do the right thing this time, whatever it may be. Ooh, it's really cold outside. That was a cold breath. It hurt my chest. But you can rise above these things. You experience them for a reason so that you can experience all things. I talk a lot about experience and how important it is to go out and experience and try new things, and that's the purpose of being on this planet and life is to go out and experience. And when we talk about that, it's hard to think about going out and experiencing something negative. You don't want to I'm gonna go out and look for something bad. No, we don't want that. But those experiences also help you to learn and to grow, and for your soul to learn and to grow and to have had all of those things. I mean, that cliche saying of you can't experience love until you've lost it, or it's better to have loved and to have lost than to have never loved at all of those kind of things, those cliche sayings, those are real experiences. The reason it's cliche is because everybody has experienced them, and it's okay, whatever. But those are important experiences for your soul. Those are important experiences for being a part of the human existence and being in this state of being. And so good and bad and different, all of those things, the deep emotional physical, whatever, the deep experiences, good or bad, all make you who you are. They're all important. And sometimes you have to write down all of the bad things so that you can remember the good things. Sometimes you have to be like, oh, all of these bad things happened. Okay, I experienced all of these things. Oh, that was this great experience. I remember when I had my first baby. I remember when I had all my babies. That's an experience that you don't forget. Even from a past life, I can remember seeing my children. So there are just some, and that's a beautiful, you see your child and you're like, oh, it's just one of those experiences, and when we get past the bad ones, we can see the good ones, or sometimes when, it goes both ways, whatever. The important thing is that to look at your experiences and to see the lessons that you've learned and to reflect on them and to grow from that and to heal in the places that you need healing, to nurture the places that need growth, to honor the places that have taught you and helped you grow, and to take that time to, honor who you are and what has created you in this life and in the next. So today, I challenge you to sit down, maybe not today, start thinking about it, start making a plan. Because like I said, this isn't something that you're gonna, I got 5 minutes, let me sit down and do some soul regression work, some soul fracturing, whatever. It's not gonna happen like that. This is something that you have to think about. Maybe do a little dream work, do some meditation, do some free handwriting, do whatever it is that works for you, but it's gonna take some time. It's gonna take some digging, some thinking, and some, working with it. But again, this can be really, really helpful, especially when it comes to healing. And yeah, however is best for you to write it all down. Sorry, I just had this random thought about adopted people and how fractured they feel not having their parents, and to sit down and to journal about this and to think about this and to know that as a baby, there's nothing that you did that influenced the situation. This is a life experience that you had to have so that you could grow to be where you are. And sometimes things just don't make sense, and you're like, I don't understand why I had to go through that in order to get to where I am right now. But it's those experiences that probably impacted you the most and put you on the path that you're at. Sometimes it's a small thing like, should I turn left or right? Or sometimes it's a major thing like your parents not being very parental, all things influence you. So just sit down and think about it. Take the time, give yourself that time, be patient with yourself, and love yourself while you're doing this. Know that you're doing this to heal and not to pick at an old wound. This is about healing and about, what has impacted your soul and what do you carry with you every day and what is that teaching you. So many blessings to you and all you do, and I hope that you have some great enlightenment through all of this. And again, don't forget to like and subscribe and all of that stuff, and I hope you have a great week. Many blessings.